joining us. This is Heartlines, our space where we talk all things relationship, friendship, and marriage, And yes, I'm not going to be doing this alone. I have Precious joining me via Zoom. But first, let me just quickly introduce what our topic for tonight would be. We want to be looking at redefining success, right? And the weight of societal expectations. You know how people just, what's the word now? How the society just has put a definition to success, right? So we thought it was important to have that conversation because a lot of people are under so much pressure these days, trying to just meet up to societal expectations. And I have Precious joining me via Zoom. Hi, Precious.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening. How are you today?
I'm good. How is Lagos?
Oh, I wish I can be on my bed. That's all I can say.
Me
but I
too.
But Lagos is a bit fair today, maybe because of the public holiday. So the roads were fairer, everything was just okay. And
Oh, okay.
we've had a bit of break from the rain, so we're looking good. But there's just
Let's hope the
something,
break lasts.
yeah, there's just something in the air. So everybody's coughing, having, runny nose, and all of that.
Wow, I thought it was only in Port Harcourt.
No, it's not. Oh, somebody came to Nigeria and sprayed something in the air. Because even me, I'm still coughing. Yeah, but yeah, the show must go on.
And spread something in the air.
Yeah, so all right. So I mean, Precious, success and the weight of societal expectation. That's the conversation for tonight, right? I don't know.
Yes.
When you go on social media, you just see a lot of um. It just speaks pressure, 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 pressure. Do you understand? Because so many
Yes.
people are uh they are supposed to be put in a certain light, and if they are put in a certain light, that's what defines, that is what necessitates whether you can societal acceptance or whether you are respected by the society. And I mean, should it be so? Should it be so?
No, no, of course not. It's not supposed to be so, but unfortunately, that's what we see. So certain achievements are viewed as success. Certain wealth accumulation, is viewed as success. Um, Certain careers, there was a time when it was even certain careers. So if you were not a doctor, an engineer, a lawyer, like certain things. So this puts unnecessary pressure, really unnecessary pressure on certain individuals to conform to what society looks at as success. And it really doesn't go well. It doesn't, because at the bottom end of it, that person will not be happy. You're supposed to be
Good. We're having a bit of trouble with Precious's network. mm. Okay, so while we're trying to reconnect with Precious, let me say that you can be a part of the conversation. Call us on 070250077749 or 0701424220 to be a part of the conversation. You can also send us a message on 08180384663. That would be WhatsApp or text message to join the conversation. Precious, do we have you back now? Okay, so we're still having trouble getting Precious to join. But I think, whether we like it or not, I would say that there would always be pressure. There will always be um what's it called, societal expectations. At some point, you as a person, you will need to define and draw the line. Set the standards for yourself. And this is not me saying you to settle for substandard life or mediocrity or whatever. No, because right now, what the world determines, or defines as success, it might not be what you see as success. I'll say this to say that in your heart of heart as a human, you would know, if this truly gives you fulfillment, if this truly makes you feel like, yes, you have achieved something. And that is going to be between you and your inner conscience, right? It's not about what the world has set as standards. Because now, today, in today's world that is highly materialistic, what you see people do and how they define success is how you appear, judging it purely most of the time, based on physical appearance, material acquisition and all of that. But there's much more to success than just all of those things. Precious, I don't know if we have you back.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
here.
Awesome, awesome. Oh yeah, so you were trying to explain something before the network threw you out.
Yes, I was saying, unfortunately, society puts unnecessary pressure on individuals to conform to what their definition of success is. And what society has called success is, certain wealth accumulations or material possessions, certain careers or a particular social status or a particular, achievement. So sometimes it can be the status of being married. Sometimes it can be the status of, oh, you have kids. So it's not just about money, it's also about um, family relationships, career, wealth, and all that. And it really is unfair because it doesn't allow us to see or experience the ideal human being that is standing in front of you. Instead, you get to see what has been shaped by what society wants to see.
Hmm, that's very true. I was somewhere on Sunday, and just by the mere fact that I was seated in front, the attention was quite different. Because it is believed that if you have the front row seat, automatically you should be somebody that is very important. You should be this.
Yeah.
I saw it differently, right? Because all of a sudden, the people that would normally walk past you and ignore you, all of a sudden are coming to say hello to you and all of that because of the perceived, what's it called, significance of that front row seat. And I mean, these are like, I'm just giving that as an example to say that these things are in our everyday life. You go to church, right? And because you're given the front row seat next to the pastor, all of a sudden you become somebody of importance. At the end of the service, everybody wants to come and say hello to you. You're at an event, you are called to be probably like a guest speaker. All of a sudden, everybody just feels like, okay, you have, a wealth of knowledge that they would want to tap into. These are things that we see every single day. It happens to us on a daily basis. And you see, and that's why for me, right, this topic kind of like, it's a reminder that until you learn to put the standards for yourself, it's going to be difficult, to keep up with what the societal expectations are, as to especially as to what it is that they have defined success to be, right? It is going to be very difficult. But when you decide as a person to set the standards and you say, okay, this is what success means to me as a person, then you've started living your life for you. You're no longer living your life for what the world is expecting from you, but what you actually expect from yourself and what you wish for yourself. I think that's for me, that's like, putting it very, very in simple terms. What do you think?
Yes, yes. And it gives life more meaning because
Hmm.
success is not just supposed to be about what the world thinks of. It's supposed to be about, your own feeling of being satisfied with the current life that you're living, recognizing your potential to do more. It's not just about attaining a particular status or amassing, you know, a particular amount of wealth. It's much more than that.
Absolutely. All right. So, I mean, so let's add a bit of context to this. Why do we have the pressure? Why does the society pressure us, as to what the world has set as standards for their success? So I was having a conversation with a friend of mine this evening, and we were just talking. He went to fix his car somewhere in the market, right? And he was saying that, I don't want to believe that these people selling spare parts, you understand? Where are they getting the money from? Because the amount of stock, the amount of money, that is there, that is tied up there has to be other things that they are doing, you understand, to be able to meet up with the
Mm.
transaction. That so he was just saying in general that if you see now, right, maybe because of what the world expects us to have as maybe business people that are succeeding, right, a lot of people have blurred the lines, and a lot of people, instead of this is the
Yeah.
business I'm doing, but in the business that they are doing, there's a business behind that business. Do you understand? I don't know how to
Yeah.
explain.
Yeah.
So a lot of
Yeah.
things
Yeah. Yeah.
that you see are fonts, right?
Yeah.
This is not the actual business that is being done. This is just a font to say this is what I am doing. But the real core of the business is you see a lot of issues around, conversations around internet fraud, what's it called? Conversations around drug peddling, conversations around all of those, criminal financial ways, criminal ways to get money, so I was now of the opinion that,
Mm.
so why would somebody put themselves under pressure to want to be seen to be a successful business person? If the business has not picked, the business has not picked. When it picks, it will pick. If it doesn't pick, all good and well. Do you understand? But there's that real pressure, and
So
that's where you see a lot of criminalities and crime that is on the rise, because
yeah.
so many people want to keep up to what the society expects. Okay, I just started a business 2 months ago. All of a sudden now, I have bought a Mercedes. I have bought this. I have bought that. So automatically, you're a successful business mogul. Go ahead, Precious.
I we know it's not. We know it's not that. I don't know why society, has put a lot of pressure on certain things, but we've seen, especially as it has to do with success, we've seen it time and again that people are forced to behave in a certain way just because, like you rightly said, if you even take the aspect of a business, even looking at spare parts, sometimes something as simple as a barbing salon. And the kind of lifestyle that the owner of the barbing salon lives, you can't be sure to say it is from this barbing salon that
Oh,
you
shoot.
probably pass 2, 3 times a day, and how much is a haircut. So society will just say, look, this is what you need to do, this is what you need to do. But at the tail end of it, will this thing give you happiness? Will it make you better? Would it add value to your own life and the life of people around you?
The example that you're talking about, you see this thing, and this is why I said that if you search within yourself, right, you would know what gives you fulfillment, you would know what gives you joy, you will know what makes you feel valued. It might just be that
Yeah.
in the way God has designed you as a person, I have to go a bit spiritual here. In the way God has designed you as a person, just helping other people succeed might be your own fulfillment to show that you are a success. Do you understand what I'm saying? In the way
Yes.
some people are wired, just um ensuring that they are able to support other people, to what's it called, probably pay their school fees, and just quietly live their life in one small house, but they are paying people's school fees and all of that. That can mean that is the definition of success for them. So I used to say all of these things, but sometimes people say to you
Yeah.
that, oh, I think you are, it's because you don't have it yet. I said no. Honestly speaking, I do not know why I would need to live in a house that has 10 bedrooms or 100, you understand, or 20 bedrooms. Live in a mansion with stewards and all of that. I like the very, very
Yeah.
simple life. You understand? But you see, when I see all these people that have mansions and all of that, it's good for them. But for me, that does not make me feel like, oh, I have arrived or I am successful. Do you understand? The things that gives me joy are just in the little things. I don't need those things to show me that, oh, I am successful or I am happy or I am doing well. But sadly, The way the society has designed it, right? If you do not push for those things, if you're not driving a Bentley, if you're not driving a Mercedes, if you're not driving a big car, right, an SUV, right, you go somewhere, you are looked down on, you are talked down on. And now, guess what happens, Precious? When you then go for certain kinds of, you are in a room and people just look at you and they completely ignore you. But let's say you came into that room, you had an orderly in a completely decked military uniform, somebody holding your bag. You know, you're smelling like $1,000,000 because the perfume that you're spraying is about $500 bottle perfume. You're wearing jewelries, you know, in diamonds and all of those things, and you have all this, you know, paraphernalia around you. Eventually, automatically, you become somebody that is important, and that might not be to you. That might not be what gives you fulfillment. And that's why you see that you have a lot of people roaming around depressed. Not because you see that physically they have everything around that they need. But you
Yeah.
understand? But because they do not have that one thing that gives them joy and fulfillment, they are roaming around, they are depressed. And you'll be wondering, why are you depressed in the midst of all this blessing? That is because you
Person
allowed
is not
society.
happy.
You understand?
Yeah.
You allowed
Yeah.
society to define what happiness should have meant for you and what success should have meant for you. So
Yes.
imagine if we start to have the courage as humans to start to define on our own terms. Do you understand? I'm not in the mood. I just want to walk on the beach with my bare leg and just sing praises to God and move around. That is how I want to live my life. Then you should not be, nobody should start to question, you know, your choices. But sadly, that's not what we're seeing.
Yes, sadly. And I like that we are talking about it because little by little, we would be able to create a lasting impact where people will begin to self-actualize and say, look, I think I am meant for more than this. I think I don't need to be part of what the society says this is success. I have to live life based on my own terms.
Mm. I tell you, there was a video. I don't know if you saw that video that went viral on social media where there were Mercedes cars that was covered in dust. One of these wealthy men in the I think he's in the 80s or so. Yeah, he was very wealthy. Did you see that video? It went viral. It was quite viral.
No,
I
no,
don't
I
know.
did.
I think we have it
Ah,
somewhere in our
okay.
archive. They had like Mercedes with no number plate or whatever. Lots of Mercedes in the guy's garage, covered in dust. You understand? I am sure that if they brought that man back to life, and they told him that he had a second chance to live his life again, I can bet you that it will probably be a keke, or he will just buy one car. You understand? Because in the end, you
Yes,
then realize that all those things are vanity. You know, you,
yes, yes,
you
yes.
then realize all those things are vanity. But I was
Because
listening
the truth is,
to.
you
Go
can never
ahead.
have to. You can't have so much. Well, I don't even know how to put it, but no matter how much money you have, you can't actually enjoy all of it. It's like you said, you can only sleep in one room. You can only sleep on one bed. At every point in time, you can only wear one pair of shoes and one pair of clothes. You can't indulge in everything. You can't acquire everything also. So life should be beyond what you can grab and keep for yourself. Life should be beyond what your house shouldn't be a showroom. Your life shouldn't be a showroom where all you do is just acquire and keep, just to display, just to put on display for people to, see. When your name is being mentioned in places, what do they say about your name? Do they just define you as, oh, Precious the wealthy girl, Precious the rich girl? There should be more than just attached wealth, and what society has defined as success to your name, if your name is being called in places.
Absolutely. And I totally agree with you. You know what? Let's go on a short break, right? When we come back from that break, I would like to, hear more thoughts on this. Then I have a story I want to share with you, Precious. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Heartlines would be right back. This season on Heartlines, we're committed to making a difference in people's lives. So Heartlines, in partnership with Reda Consult, is offering 12 free slots of counseling every quarter for people in need of professional counseling. Additionally, we're taking on 2 pro bono cases for individuals navigating a challenging divorce. To participate, please send an email to counsel@vedaconsult.com with your story. Our team will carefully review all submissions and will contact all the shortlisted candidates. Heartlines is live Mondays to Fridays at 10 p.m. So engage with us.
Thanks for staying with us on Heartlines.
All right, thanks for staying with us. Now, if you just tuned in, redefining success versus the weight of societal expectations is a topic that we're addressing today, and I have Precious joining me via Zoom. Remember, you can be a part of the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. You can also call our numbers 07025007749 or 070142422420. So, Precious, I was listening to someone on Instagram and how he was explaining something. So a luxury brand wanted to hire him for something. So his friend recommended him. And so when they now went on his page and I said, no, that he doesn't look luxury. It doesn't look luxury, he doesn't whatever. So because of that, they did not, they don't think they can go with him. So when the friend told him, he now said, you know what, can you please get me in the room with them? Let's have a meeting with them. So he said before then, she said, okay, no problem. So he said before then, he now called a few friends of his. There's one that has correct shoes. There's one that has correct perfume. There's one that has a Range Rover. Like that, clothes. So he packaged himself, dressed up, and all of that. He said when he got to the venue, just to, because those things, just to make sure that they know the car that he came in. He sat inside the car and he now said, oh, sorry, he doesn't know his way. Can they get somebody to come down to get him? All those one na bobo. It was because he wanted them to see the car that he came in. So Precious, by the time he went upstairs, they didn't even talk much again.
Yeah.
They said, oh my God, because the perception that they had completely switched immediately. That packaging was done, and all of a sudden he got the job. You understand?
Yeah.
Sadly, Precious, that is the reality of a lot of, especially people in this our social media world, and in this our media world is even worse. I was talking to a friend of mine that was a branch manager at the time. You understand? And he said, see, if you're going to the bank, you're approaching the bank to go and get a loan, you better don't go inside Keke Mara. He said, see, there was a guy that wanted a loan from the bank. He had, all those documentation and all of those, they were not really, he didn't have it, all the requirements. But the car he came in, and the branch manager could see him from the top of the floor, and he could oversee the car park. The car the guy came in, by the time the guy was getting to the branch manager's office, they were not discussing, oh, sorry, you did not qualify. Sorry, you've not run your account for 6 months. Okay, when do we sign the documents? That was what happened. So when you have a society that projects success in a certain light, that projects success, in a certain way, how do you now navigate that, without you being completely immersed in that ideology of what success means that the society has set as standard?
It can be really tricky, but I found that your works speak for you, especially as it has to do with talents and giftings. Now, if for instance, because I've seen, I live in Port Harcourt, so I've seen where someone wants to do an event, probably a birthday or a wedding or something, and you would recommend a caterer. In your mind, you're trying to help this person. this caterer will do an amazing job, this, that, and they'll ask you the name of the caterer. You call them and they'll be like, we don't know that person. How many followers do they have? And then they forget that when it has to do with certain things, it's not about the number of followers you have on any of the social media handles. It's not about whether you have a functional website. It's about if you can deliver on the job that you have been asked to deliver. So I found it easy to tell people, if you know you are in a service-based industry, learn to allow your work speak for you. So don't say because you're small or you're just starting up, you can just behave anyhow when it has to do with your work.
Precious, sorry, darling, for cutting you. Your work does not speak for you again, no. In this service-based business. You don't understand? Your packaging.
It's really tricky.
Your packaging speaks for you.
Really tricky.
How you package yourself. That's why
and the number of certificates you have to show.
That your caterer now will be charging probably maybe 1,500 per plate, and that 1,500, when you eat the food, you will go to heaven. You understand? But they don't mind the one that will serve rubbish. But because that one is well packaged, that one has all the Instagram followers, and that one is charging probably 5,000 per head. Do you understand? Because right now, that's what is happening. It is no longer, again, whether you know your craft. It is how well you are able to package your craft. I know a friend of mine that sells hair. The hair she sells, quality raw hair. But that hair, people will come and buy it, collect it from her in Lekki. That hair, they will put 3 times the price and they will still sell it. You understand? Because they are not selling the hair or the worth of the hair. On that her price, she has already put her profit and everything. No? But you see, there are some people, if you carry that hair to them and you say this hair is so and so amount, automatically, the amount of the hair automatically means that it
determines the quality.
Determines the quality. So what they now decide to say is, you know what? It is XYZ, 3x, 10x the price. And oh yes, now quality you feel, and all of that. But because that is the society we have gotten to, where everything is, would I call it, you are benchmarking everything or benchmarking success to mean that you have certain things. Do you understand? If you are not driving an SUV or you're not driving a what's it called, a top premium brand car, you are considered not in the class. If you're not living in certain areas, you're not even considered at all. If you do not probably fly business class tickets, you understand? You're not. It's just the standard. And how long and for how long can you keep up?
It's a race. It's a race, and you can't get tired. You just have to keep being out. Look, it can be really frustrating, I have to admit, because I've seen several instances where this has happened again and again and again, where smaller or startup brands or very good brands are overlooked just because, according to society, they are not there yet. And you hear things like, you haven't paid your dues. And I ask, what are these dues and who are we supposed to pay it to? Why must everything be so difficult to attain? Why shouldn't I be able to be in the same room as, someone who has been in the same line of business with me for a while? Maybe I've been in it for 2 years and the person came in 6 months ago, and because of packaging, it looks like the person have been doing the business for 10 years. And so for that reason, I'm sidelined. So these are questions that once we begin to ask, it would be easier for you to take a stand on defining yourself. Come to think of it, society is not one person. Society is us. Society is not a building. Society is us. So if we can treat each other better, recognize the unique gifts and talents that we have or what we bring to the so-called table, it will help us better understand what true success means, not just what the society has painted as success. Because even up to areas that you live, I live in so and so area, automatically they think you have made it in life. Where do you work? So people are even afraid of properly introducing themselves. I work in a bank. Oh, that's fine. You're a banker. Even if you're a cleaner, they don't want to know. All their head is, I work in a bank.
You don't even get. Precious is so bad that all these bank staff, especially the ad hoc staff, right, that are earning peanuts, right?
Yeah.
You will see somebody that is working for a small business, right? They don't respect where they are working because it is not a big organization. That's where you see all these big organizations. They get away with what's it called? Labor. What do they call this? Would I call it poor wages for their staff?
Yeah.
Because why? The staff is comfortable being called a banker, like you rightly said. I work in the bank, but you're not checking what are your wages and all of that. You're not looking at all of those things. Then when a small company comes to employ you, you look down on that company. Because in your head, because that company is not known like the big brands and all of that, automatically the company is not successful. This thing that we are discussing, Precious, it cuts across everything. And you see, that's why I said until we learn to define success for us, right? That is when we start to live. Even if it is Sukura and Sons I'm working with in an Amala spot, you understand? Even if I was making 150,000 naira per month, I'll be ashamed to tell people I'm working with Sukura and Sons. But if I was working in a bank, for instance, and they were paying me 50,000 naira per month, you understand? I'll be bragging everywhere, hanging my ID card and all of that.
Yeah.
If that is not stupidity, I don't know what else to call it. Because you don't get
adult
because
not
now,
even child stupidity.
do you understand? What gives you the right to define what success means to me? I am happy where I am. I am earning my money. I'm having fun, and I'm living my life. But no, you see, it steals. You see this when the society, when you are hell bent on meeting up to societal expectation, it steals your joy. The little things, your little wins you're supposed to celebrate, the things you're supposed to enjoy, you are not able to enjoy it. Why? Because you're always benchmarking your level where you have gotten to your achievement to what the society expects from you. And once you continue to do that, it's going to be very difficult for you to live a life that you will not go and find yourself in trouble one day. Because this is how it starts. Because all of a sudden you want to meet up to societal expectation. You go and do the things you're not supposed to do. You go and dip your hands in things you're not supposed to do. I was watching a video this afternoon where a guy was explaining how some people paid a ridiculous amount of money into his account. Right? And he was saying to them, imagine if that guy was not content. You understand? Because that was a lot of money, I think about 90-something million into his account. And the only thing he told them, in fact, he went to the police himself to report the case and told them the only way that money will leave his account is if it goes back to source. We all know where these transactions, what they do. So, and guess what? Because he is content. Imagine if that guy had an iota of greed in him. All they need to do is that instead of 90-something million, let's give you 10 million and wire it to a different account. But you do not know that now you just completely helped them to complete a fraudulent transaction. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And these are the things that we say. Because guess what? Every single day we wake up, you have to choose. Do I define success for me, or do I allow the world to define what success means to me? Because this is what puts us all under a lot of pressure. It puts us all under a lot of pressure.
It does.
I'm telling you, because sometimes you wake up. It's not every time that the transactions will click. It's not every time that the things will work. But guess what? Success means that you are waking up every morning and putting in the work. You do not know when it will materialize. You understand? Our job has always been to keep on planting those seeds, keep on watering those seeds. The increase has never been left to us. The increase is based on, what's it called? Divine powers that increase comes.
Yeah.
Your job has always been do the work and leave the rest for God. But because we are so much blinded by what the society requires of us, then we start to do things that we're not supposed to do. And our joy is stolen because we are not able to appreciate our growth. Do you understand?
Yeah. Even living just something as simple as a fulfilled life, or even having a good day. So you see this, we take for granted the little joys that life gives. Now you wake up in the morning, you go about your day. Are you able to, at the end of the day, when you're having your bath or putting your head down to sleep in the night, can you tell yourself, today I did well? Or, oh, today I didn't do well, but I'm happy with the little I did. Or today was not a good day, but tomorrow we're going to, stand up and try again. Or are you going to go to bed and regret all of the decisions? We just assume that our consciences should be dead, but no. Sometimes, no matter how dead the conscience is, there is still a heartbeat somewhere. It would still actually was a day you made your little mark in making the world a better place. Or if that day you just conformed to what the society told you to conform to. Is it going to be difficult to do? Yes, we agree. And the reason is because you're going to be up against the world, literally. You're going to be fighting against societal norms and expectations. You're going to be fighting against people who have set down rules and regulations that have nothing to do with them. They are just setting them just to, oppress you and pressure you into making decisions that you're not supposed to make. Why should I do things that will make you happy and make me unhappy? I don't know why people do those type of things.
Absolutely.
So at the end of the day, are you living a fulfilled life? Like you said, define what success means to you. And there is nobody who will say success for them means standing up to values that are not their own. Or what success means to them is having lots of people just gather and hail you and say you're a wealthy person, you're a rich person. No. It has to be much more than that.
Absolutely. And Precious, I was just, I remember just hearing you speak. I remember the conversation I was having with my Gen Z anchors on the breakfast team. We have a breakfast show at 8 a.m. every day. And because I will be turning 40 this year, because, early this year, I just saw a lot of people doing birthdays, like a carnival. I said, this is too much pressure, But guess what? I was talking to them and I said something to them. I said, see, where I am at the phase of my life that I am at, I have two young adults that are going, okay, one just graduated from secondary school and is going into university. Another is already in university, right? In his second year. And I was saying to them, I said, see, right now, what success will mean to me at this stage of my life is the ability to give them quality education. And that means depriving myself of a lot of things. I do not wear designer things. I don't buy all those things. I don't do all of those things. I said even down to, yes, I need to get a new car. But I said even down to getting a new car, right? All of those things are on pause until I am done, educating my children, giving them quality education. After that, you understand, give or take, in the next 4 years, they will be done, or 3 years. After that, I can flex all I want. I can, I can go on the beach, I can travel, I can do everything, do all the parties in the world. If I'm not able to do 40, I will do 45. But guess what? Because the money that I'm going to spend on that 40th birthday, it will make more sense to me if I put it into something a lot more meaningful than gathering people to come and eat rice that do not really care about me. Do you understand? Because tomorrow, if I go broke, Precious, tomorrow, these are the same people that will come gather together and say, can you imagine? Yes, do you understand what I'm saying? I wish people can just really learn and really just, because if you do not learn to define things for yourself and allow society to define it for you, you actually put yourself in a big mess. So for me now, what success means to me at this stage of my life is the ability to build my business to a level where it is generating income on its own. Do you understand? Without me needing to intervene here and there, and build my children. You understand? Giving them very quality education. And you and I know that schooling abroad right now is not cheap. It's expensive. Especially because we are not what's it called? We are not foreigners. We are international students. So why would you now be thinking, one thing I think I have learned in all of these things, I feel like a lot of people are walking around with misplaced priorities. Because if your priorities are straight and you have clarity as to your vision and all of that. I don't think you'll be part of those people that would allow the society to determine things for you or pressure you into what you are not. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, yes, I do. Because whether you like it or not, societal expectations change from time to time as the years go by. Today it's going to be the person that is driving Benz. Tomorrow it's going to be the person that has the most number of houses. Next tomorrow is going to be the person that, like, you can't ever keep up with it. So why fight or why join, something that you will not be able to keep up with and that will ultimately not make you happy? So you have defined what success means to you. Imagine me now saying it's because you don't own your own TV station. That's why you are not successful. When you're already successful at doing what you love, you're successful at providing the quality education that you want for your kids, you're not just wishing it, you're actively doing something about it. So why should you now base your success off of my definition, which is, it's not on CNN, so that means she hasn't gotten successful yet. No, 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 no. I shouldn't have a say in what counts as success for you. That doesn't mean that I should disrespect you or you should disrespect me. No. It doesn't mean I should look down on you or you should look down on me. No. It just means that the lane that you're walking in life is taking you to where it is supposed to take you. And absolutely, I should not come and be dragging you to a lane that I now created for you.
And Precious, I wanted to ask you, right? What do you think comparison? How do you think comparison has helped or has helped to continue to feel this pressure? Because just your thoughts on comparison and its role in fueling the pressure.
So comparison has done a lot of harm, because what it has done is it has made people so it pits people against each other. So it can breed jealousy, it can breed discontentment, it can reduce self-esteem. So it makes people not feel proud of themselves and what they have achieved for themselves at that point in time. It can make people lose confidence in who they are or in who they are working on themselves to be. And generally, it can affect even the mental well-being. Because remember, we are mental beings. We think, we have emotions. So if every time I'm being put down by, like I said, society is not a building, it's made up of people, different people. So if every time I'm being put down by the people I surround myself with, just because I don't conform to their definition of success, then I'm not going to be living a very happy life. I'm going to be constantly thinking I'm a failure, thinking I'm useless, thinking, the life I'm living right now is not worth it and all of that. Most of the times, even with people who, end up unaliving themselves, for those of them who even tried to go to counseling before they, unfortunately went down that path, you'll find out that it is about living up to expectations. They felt disappointed. Why? You hear things like, oh, my parents, oh, my school teacher, oh, my friend. Like, it has to be something somebody said or somebody did that made them feel unworthy, unloved, unappreciated, or even underappreciated, and why some will turn it into resentment, some it sends them down the path of, depression and suicidal thoughts and all that. So comparison can be motivational, we understand that, but the way society goes about it, it is detrimental. It is not even motivational anymore. Instead of being used to inspire, it's used to downgrade and downplay people's personal, and really sincere effort.
Absolutely. And I think, it will be a great place to, to wrap up the conversation, because people will say, but you have to also have aspirations. You must have something that you look forward to having. I'm not, there's no doubt about that, having something to look forward to. But you see, when you start to compare, I think those things just completely kills your ability for gratitude. Sometimes I think God is such an interesting being, because if I look back at pictures from 5 years ago, 10 years ago, I am really, really grateful for growth. Right? How else
Mm,
would you appreciate where you are if there's no journey to your story? Do you understand?
yeah,
If there's no journey to your glory, how do you appreciate where you are? So at that point, you must really learn to know that, you see, those journeys are part of what will eventually, you know, give you that ultimate satisfaction that yes, we did it. But once you
yeah,
rob yourself of that and you're in a hurry, because of societal expectations, then you lose everything. You lose
yeah.
everything. So if you had one final thought, Precious, what would that be?
Understand that you're unique and that you were put on this earth for a particular purpose. So find out what your purpose is. Understand where you are in your journey of life right now. Don't listen to the naysayers. Define what success is for yourself and do all you can to stay on the right path.
It's a fantastic way to live the conversation. Yeah, please. You must redefine what success means to you. Don't allow the weight of societal pressure. Like Precious rightly said, you can't really keep up with, because every day societal expectations keep
Mm,
changing. They keep redefining success. So you must be the one to
mm,
define it for yourself, so that you keep a standard for yourself and make sure it's a great
mm.
standard you set for yourself. Thank you so much, Precious, for your time this evening. All right, guys,
Thank
please
you.
remember, if you have any challenge or you're going through something, you don't have to go through it alone. Counsel@vedaconsult.com. That's the email. Share your story with us. It's important that you talk to someone instead of bearing that burden alone. I mean, that's why Heartlines was created, is to share burdens, discuss, and help you find healing, find, peace, find fulfillment, or whatever it is that you're looking for at the time. We have a great support system that would help you. So please keep a date with us tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your evening.